try to make this a quick video on the Civic 2006 through 2011, doing an oil change for you, just to give you the basics really quick. What I like to do, that's why I'm showing you this. What I do is just to kind of help you on trip A. Nobody usually uses a trip odometer anyway, but what I like to do, trip A is your mileage, like if you just want to see how far you went on a trip. So what I do, what I recommend, hit your select reset button till you get to trip B. That's what I keep up with my oil changes. So this has been 6,000 miles, so I need the oil change. So I usually change it usually about every 5, but I'm a little bit over, but just give you an idea. So what you would do if you do that idea, then we'll go ahead and reset our oil change there. Alright guys, then you want to go ahead and warm your car, let it run for a while, get it up to operating temperature so that the oil warms up, so it'll come out nice. I would recommend ramps because it's a really low car, unless you're a really little person, but it makes it a whole lot easier if you get it up on ramps. Just make sure you're safe about it, make sure they're heavy duty. These hold 12,000 pounds, so we're good on this little car. Alright guys, this is what you're going to need for the project. I use Pennzoil. You can use whatever brand you feel like, but Pennzoil has been around forever, and I use it in all my vehicles so I can keep up with the same oil and not have to worry about going back and forth with different brands. So you need 5W20, and if you want some gloves, these are thin, so I got 4. I'm going to double up on them. Now I've been using Fram filters for a long time, so that's the Fram for Civic PH7317. You can pick it up at Walmart or any auto parts store. So that's the number you need. For the oil change, you got your tool set, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you so you're not guessing. What you're going to need is 17mm. And if you want to use an extension, you can, or if you got a different size, whatever, but that's what you're going to need. Might need a hammer to tap on that to get it loose, and you're going to need a drain pan of your choice, but this one I use at Walmart. Make sure you take this screw drain plug out. Just telling you that because I just did oil change, I think last week, forgot about it. Oil was running all over everything, not a good situation. So you gotta reach down in the hot oil, try to take the drain out. So don't let that happen. Learn from my mistake. And make sure you lift this drain, this little vent here, or the oil won't drain down. Then you got another problem. Low drop light wouldn't hurt, just so you can see good under the car. So we're gonna go ahead and slide in. If it's wintertime like me, a little buddy heater is a nice choice. So keeps you warm while you're working. Alright guys, hopefully you can see this okay. Can't hold the camera and do this, but there's your drain plug. It actually says engine oil. It has a arrow pointer. So make sure your wrench is in reverse, and you're going to go ahead and take that off. If yours is hard to get off, like mine was, you can take a hammer and just tap this over. I've already broken it loose, so I'm cheating. So it's one of the things you won't see on video, but just letting you know that's what I did. So that's it. But once it's loose, you can go ahead and drop the wrench. You spin it with your finger. What you're going to do is spin it off until it's almost off. You'll feel it. It'll kind of start rocking back and forth. Once you get it almost off, hold pressure against the oil. You see it start dripping. Now you're going to all of a sudden just really quickly let it go. So then you don't make a big mess. Alright guys, hopefully you can see the oil filter here. It's kind of tight down here, but it's your oil filter right in front of the oil pan, right down from the drain plug. So while that's draining, once it gets pretty slow, I'm going to go ahead and take this off. If you need a wrench, you can, but I usually hand tighten mine. Not really tight, just so next time I go to get it off, it won't be so hard. But I like to do all my own oil changes. I always have, and hopefully I always will, as long as I'm able to. I just don't trust people, and it's really easy to do. That's why I'm doing this video, just to kind of, hopefully I'll help somebody out so you can do your own oil changes and don't have to worry about paying more money for it, and you know it's done right. And you can check out everything else in the car. So you want to go ahead and give it like a half turn or so, and you'll see the oil start come down. Then go ahead and let it, put your hand down, let it drain some. As you're waiting for that, go ahead and, good idea to take a look at everything under the vehicle. Make sure everything looks good, no fluids leaking or anything. Once it slows down from draining some, then you can go ahead and spin it off. Just keep pressure up on it. Same with the oil drain screw. And you should feel it kind of break loose. And then you're going to go ahead and just drop it down. Go ahead and turn the oil filter upside down so it drains down in the pan. While your oil is draining, I'll just give you info on how much oil to put back in it. Get 3.9 quarts, 3.7 liters, and 5W20 oil grade. Except for if you have a SI, then you're going to be down at the 5W30 and 4.6 quarts and 4.4 liters. So that's just giving you an idea of what you're going to be, how much oil you're going to need to put back in it. And also, while the oil is draining, because it takes a while, what I like to do is go ahead and check all your tire pressures, because they change a lot more than you think. So depending on the season and weather changing, so go ahead and get a good eye on those and check your tires for wear. Make sure they're wearing good. Make sure you're not getting bald tires. Good idea, just run around the whole car. Make sure everything looks okay, because you only do oil change every now and then, so you want to make sure you keep up with it. Open up your driver's side door and you should see a label there. Front tires, 32 psi. Rear, 32 psi. So just a little tip there, keep an eye on that. Alright guys, once the oil stops draining pretty much, you want to go ahead and take your oil filter and run a clean layer of oil around the gasket there, just to help it seal and not be dry. So you can go ahead and put this back on. Kind of, you can tell right there it started hitting it. So you want to go at least a 3/4 of a turn to a full turn. I like to turn it backwards again and tighten it. You want to make sure it's tight and it won't leak, but you don't need to kill it, because then next time you go take it off, it's really hard. So that's good. So the filter's on tight. You can go ahead and put your oil drain plug back in. Make sure you clean your plug up good with a rag, and just hand tighten it till it gets up to the engine. It may still be dripping a little bit, because I think it would take 1.5 years for it to stop dripping. I don't know why it takes so long, but go ahead and give that a good snugging, but not too crazy. Just get it really tight. That should be good. And we're done down here. Go ahead and take your rags, clean up your hands. You should be able to take your gloves off. Clean up around the drain plug so you'll know if it's leaking. And if you have any other leaks, clean up everything down here. Alright, so you got 5W20. Remember I said you need 3.9 quarts, 3.7 liters. So how do you figure that out? I've done a long time, and the easiest way I found out, buy you 2 5-quart containers, and what you do is on one of them, when you have leftover oil, so like I did oil change with this one last time, so I had a little bit left over, so you want to use your old oil first, but go and buy you another 5-quart container and then pour it into the old one to line up to where you're at 3.9 quarts, 3.7 liters. It's an awesome tip. So it makes it a whole lot easier when you're trying to figure it out, like when you're pouring it out. You can also do it the other way. If you have a 5-quart container, just subtract it down to where you're using 3.9 quarts, almost 4 quarts. But that's just a tip for you. Okay, now that you got the pre-measured amount that we just discussed, now you're going to go ahead and pour that into, I would highly recommend a funnel. Go ahead and pour that into your engine there. Make sure you take your engine oil filler cap off, and it'll tell you on there 5W20. So that's what we're going to be using here. And I think that's about it. I'm trying not to make it a long video. I did forget to tell you, go ahead and write down your mileage so you know when your next oil change is. You can also do the odometer trick. That's a good one too. But go ahead and fill this up with the pre-measured amount, so you should be good. Then you go ahead and take it off the ramps. Go ahead and start the car, make sure it's not leaking. Pull it off, and then go ahead and check your oil level just to be safe. And keep an eye on it probably for the next week or two just to make sure you don't need to top any more off, because you may have to add a little bit. But that should be it. So hopefully this helps you out, and wasn't that bad. You didn't make a big mess, did you? It wasn't too bad. So you can do it. You can do it on your own, save some money, and know you're doing it right. And you can give yourself a pat on the back that you did something. So you're now your auto mechanic. Just kidding. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope it helped you out. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel. Got other videos on the Civics and all kinds of stuff that you might run into in your life. So appreciate you watching. Please subscribe to my channel. See you on the next video.